Welcome back. Well, never shy of expressing opinion. Brad Wall's been collecting positions from the party leaders which affect his beloved Saskatchewan, where he serves as the extremely popular premier. He joins me live from, I guess it's Regina, right? Okay. Brad Wall, I've read the leader responses to your pitch, and a lot of supportive noise about pipelines and equalization and agricultural issues. No one seems particularly hostile, so all right, here's the question. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Well, a couple things. One, with respect to the letter itself, I mean, we could have asked any number of questions. We had to narrow it down, or the letter would have been as interminable as the election itself. And so we picked those three issues you've mentioned. And, you know, it's true, the Conservatives, of course, are supporting the pipelines that have been proposed in the country notionally. The Liberals, Mr. Trudeau indicated support for Keystone. I actually thought the NDP were less supportive, it seemed, of pipelines. And also, the content of the letter, perhaps notwithstanding, the NDP have a position against GMO or GMO crop science, because they've introduced legislation in Parliament that would require mandatory labeling, which is not based on science and frankly would hurt the industry. So we have a bit of a concern there, though it wasn't reflected in the letter. And you know, I guess my message yesterday was that these three issues are important to the province. People can now read the letters, have posted them online, make their own decision. There's one issue, though, that wasn't in the letter, and that's because it has emerged in the election in the intervening period between when I sent it and when we've received the responses, and that's TPP.
Trans-Pacific
Partnership. There is no more important, right? Yes, the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal. There is no more important issue, federal issue, election issue than that, because we have been waiting for a very long time to see duties removed on Saskatchewan canola and pork and beef and agricultural equipment in economies of the world where our markets are increasing, where we know the puck's going to be, places like Japan and Asia and Vietnam and others, other members of this 12-country partnership. So this is a big deal for us, and there are two parties that are supportive. Obviously, the Conservatives negotiated it. They're supportive unequivocally. The Liberals notionally, Mr. Trudeau has said they like it in principle. They want to talk to the provinces if elected. The NDP are foursquare against this deal. Basically, I think Mr. Mulcair said if he's the Prime Minister, Canada will not be a part of this particular deal. And that would be a deal breaker to me for the province of Saskatchewan in terms of NDP support. And I just shared that view. It's an opinion, but I shared it yesterday in Regina.
I'm curious about the Liberal position, because we learned today that the actual text of the Trans-Pacific Partnership won't be available prior to the election. So is the Liberal position more or less wait and see a smart one in your view? Could there be devilish details we haven't seen yet?
You know, the basics around the schedule of tariff elimination is there. I mean, there is a great amount of detail that's available for people to read it with respect to agricultural products, forestry exports from our country, industrial trade, manufactured equipment. That's why all of these groups across the country, whether they're agricultural producer groups or chambers of commerce or manufacturing associations or the CFIB, the Federation of Independent Business, have said we support this, because there's a lot of known quantity on this deal. There's a lot that we know about it, and I hope punting with respect to waiting on text is not sort of an excuse or a reason to maybe walk away from it after, should the Liberals be successful. That's not my read of it. I heard some very positive notes being sounded there. Obviously, the unequivocal support of the three choices is the party that negotiated, but I'm hopeful the Liberals agree with that position as well.
I don't want to prejudge the voters' verdict on Monday, but can you work with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau if the polling verdict becomes a reality?
We'll work with whoever the Prime Minister is, Don. Truly, I mean, we're the Saskatchewan Party, and while a large percentage of our membership would align themselves with the Conservatives, we do have some federal Liberals that support the party, certainly. And regardless, the Saskatchewan Party's raison d'etre is to represent the interests of the province of Saskatchewan, both inside our province and externally, internationally, but obviously within the Federation. And we'll work with whomever the Prime Minister is after Monday, the Prime Minister designate, or the current Prime Minister, Mr. Harper, as we have in the past.
Oh, well, you got a diplomatic future if this premier gig is ever over. Okay, I do want a quick thought from you. You're not too happy. Security cameras look like they're catching people urinating on the Legislature building. Are you planning to do anything more than try and shame them on Twitter?
We're talking to the Regina Police about what more can be done. This is just very unfortunate. This kind of sort of vandalism or behavior happens in other places, but they're outed now on the internet. I mean, I refer to them as jack wagons. I think that's getting a bit of Twitter action. And nobody's disagreeing with that. It's really unbelievable. And it's a limo company that has one of these bus limos that goes on a tour of the city, and for the most part it stops at the ledge, and then its customers are doing this. I think it'll stop now, but we are talking to the Regina Police to make sure they have every option at their disposal to stop this from happening. It's a pretty beautiful building. We're proud of it, and we hope that everybody in the province would be proud of it and act accordingly.
Yeah, final question. I only have 15 seconds left, so I know it won't take any longer than that, but I have to ask it. Harper loses the election and leaves. Even the slightest hint that you might run federally for the leadership, Brad Wall?
No, I'm after your job, Don. When my time here in politics is over, I'm thinking I like this hour gig on CTV Newsnet. Although going against the Blue Jays in the playoffs have got to be tough.
Yeah, okay, let's not talk about that. Brad Wall, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. All right. Coming up,
Thank you.